And go.
Oh.
I was giving it the 10 count.
Oh.
You know,
we're live, so go ahead.
good evening, and we are back again for the second time in 2 weeks instead of the second time in 2 years. We're hoping to make this a regular thing, but this is D&D with Shitlords, Ixalan campaign. We are back after I don't know how long with our normal party. It's been so long I forget most of the characters. Shady's playing Weimar.
Yellow.
Sanguine and Grim the Dino Slayer.
More Grim Reinbeard. Even and all.
Oh, jeez, hold on.
Glenn, played by our host Inquisitor.
Good evening to you.
The name of Icy's character escapes me at the moment.
Alexandra.
Thank you. And I want to say Chiron.
That is correct.
Yeah, you could just pull it up on YouTube and see all of my hard work right over here, where I've got all of the.
Yes.
So, I have to ask, Inquisitor, was I echoey on stream?
For 1 second you were. That's the reason why I went, oh shit, I had to go and pull up this one.
That is excellent. Well, in our last adventure, our party had began to recuperate after heading to an ancient temple that was commonly known as the Temple to the Chosen, an ancient term for a group of warriors from off the plane of Ixalan that would come to assist in Ixalan's qualms.
So is Ixalan or Ixalan?
Both are accepted in vernacular.
Okay.
And
I do not know the canonical pronunciation. It's one or the other.
Okay, that's fine.
we had, just to correct something, we had arrived at the town, which had been completely burnt down.
I was getting to the fact that the local town isn't really a town anymore. It's sort of a pile of rubble. And when we had left off, the party had met an ancient being of incredible power.
And there was serious bad blood between Morgrim and Weimar.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Wait, what?
You two nearly killed one another.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Weimar attacked Morgrim, and Morgrim almost responded.
Indeed. We shall begin with where we approximately left off. This large, what you have learned to be a dinosaur of some sort, just by looking at it, sort of looks around at each of you, and for some reason, each of you can feel a connection with it ever so slightly, as if something is shared between you two on the divine level.
You're the mad one that the gods sent.
He looks at you, and inside your head you hear, "Mad, no. But from the gods, yes." The last you talked to was mere aspects of the ones who sent me. I am their avatar.
Can we all hear this, or is this just in Sanguine?
The first sentence was just a Sanguine. the second was to the Ladia.
Okay. Weimar puts his hand on Glenn's shoulder and says, "The voices, they speak to me."
Heed them. They might tell you how to find your granny
Sanity.
admirer.
You arrived late. Now I need to find a new place to trade.
Indeed, this town has been ravaged by those off-worlders.
Hey, I did no such thing.
Which off-worlders precisely?
The Dusk Legion.
The vampires.
Wait, they're not from here? I missed that part.
Not originally, no.
So do they have little fancy pants like you to give them the same kind of power?
Not directly, but their leaders do possess some power.
I'm good. I just wanted to know if we're going, god to god, in case I needed to get my own holy text to smack people upside the head.
Not likely.
Oh, good. All right.
But they seek the greatest treasure on this land.
Yeah, I'm all ears. You said something about treasure?
I and the entire Sun Empire and the entire River Heralds are bound by the threefold Sun to protect it from any threat, which includes you.
Oh, I'm no threat at all. No, not at all. Where might this treasure be?
Only
More
the
importantly,
River
what is
Heralds know its general location. Its actual location has been lost for thousands of years.
That makes protecting it a bitch, doesn't it?
Protect the general location, you still protect the treasure.
Yeah, but you don't know if it's right on the border of that general location or in the heart of that general location. So someone could just saunter across the border for a second, end up stumbling upon it in the dirt, and walk away.
Don't give him any ideas, Singam.
What exactly is it? That
You mean
It
Grim?
is an ancient relic that is said to hold a vassal of all three of the threefold Sun's power within itself, commonly referred to as the immortal sun.
You know where I come from, sun worshippers are kind of dicks. Just throwing that out there.
Are you saying it's different here?
That explains why you hate the Legion of Dusk so much.
Oh, they worship the sun, do they?
They seek out the immortal sun more than any other faction on this continent.
Alright, good to know.
Our vampires do not like the sun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
I didn't
these
do
ones like the sun so much as want power over it.
Indeed.
I find the moon far more comforting.
So do they.
I find the bed of a woman more comforting than either of them, but that's okay. I mean,
I can agree to that.
I know, right?
I believe we're getting off on a tangent.
Sure, this is what I do. Where am I again?
Standing in the town square.
Alright.
And I think last session left off with, I think Weimar was helping bury
Yeah.
the townsfolk.
Yes.
So
Most have been buried by the time this avatar of the threefold sun has appeared.
oh yeah, since he's a giant, well, I assume it's a giant dinosaur.
Theropod type to be precise.
Weimar will point at the corpses and the burials and say, "No, not food."
Yeah.
Why would I eat the servants of the threefold son who gave their lives to protect it?
There's that voice again.
He's not too bright, is he?
He's just naive. It's perfectly fine.
No, he isn't that bright. He made that clear earlier today. So, we got some information about where the folks that did this went off to before our information source had to be burned. But I need additional information. Where exactly are they? And where is there a mill? I need sacks of flour.
You'd have to find another Sun Empire town, likely a larger one. They dot the plains and the jungles to the east.
I look at the boy. Do you know where a mill is?
He sort of looks up from one of the graves and says, "Yes, 2 days' journey northeast."
Is that in line with roughly where we were told they were headed?
It's a little off, but it's not too much of a turn.
Okay. We need to go to that mill first.
Why? I mean, are you that hungry?
No, he intends on making flower bombs.
Flower
Wait, did
bombs?
someone just say that? Did the dinosaur just say that?
Okay, that was a little bit too far on my part. I'll
I was about to just
I'll
say that.
retry that. The dinosaur looks over and says, "I think he intends on using flower for combat. Which way, I do not know."
Have
Malcolm is
any of
good
you
at
ever
that.
wondered why mills and silos are outside of towns?
Because it attracts a lot of vermin.
No, that isn't the main reason. Because they're even outside of dwarven holds. You see, when the mixture's agitated right, the tiniest spark, and so you place them outside of towns so that if that happens, a portion of your town isn't gone.
So I have to wonder then, how exactly do you plan on weaponizing an installation?
I'm going to do it smaller scale. Anything that I use as a weapon bursts into flames. I throw a sack of flour. I throw it hard enough to make the sack pop. The flour gets dispersed and fires right there. Boom.
I mean, it's your choice, but it seems a little, I don't know.
I'd rather have the bread.
Yeah, I think I agree with our little angel friend over here.
If we could move on.
I was say, besides, you're
Fire against undead things tends to work really well, and I can't throw fire other than flaming weapons right now.
No,
I'd
but
rather be able to make things explode.
your little pig sticker you got on you there is definitely a little bit more effective than that.
Oh, it will be once I get up close, but this will disperse groups of people.
I'm just saying, I think you might be burying the lead a little bit there.
Nah, it's an additional weapon. And who turns down an additional weapon?
Someone who already can't carry things.
That's clearly not my problem, I say, motioning at my mule and dinosaur cart.
The dinosaur gives a little growl to try and bring things back to center.
And Weimar just says, "No, I told you, you can't eat them."
I'm sorry, was I interrupting?
Though I do not know the exact location, I do know where the immortal sun is hidden. Oraska, the Golden City.
Golden City?
Is that the general location that you were saying earlier?
Even the city's location isn't exactly known. Just deep within the jungles of East Ixalan.
So you have a general location of the general location of the item that
Exactly.
you're trying
How
to
does
protect.
one lose a golden city?
Yeah.
And
When
how
it
do you
is-
consider something protected when you have a general location of the general location?
Well, you know, there once was this ancient legend I'd heard about from these travelers of this city that was made entirely of gold, and it got swallowed up by the jungle, and no one really knows where it is. I think this might be an allegory or a proxy for that sort of story.
The dino nods and end of game. Yes, I am feeling an El Dorado ref
Yeah,
vibe here. I'm just going on the Ixalan lore at this point.
I know.
I stand by my general location of a general location of a specific item is a bad protection.
Sanguine, take your complaints to Mark Rosewater, not me. I just have to go by the lore here.
We had a similar legend back home, but I always just figured it was a way to weed out the greediest people.
Well, it didn't get me. Ha.
Those possessed of
I went into
overly
business.
greedy nature typically find themselves in merfolk traps.
Merfolk?
The area of the jungle in which the Golden City is located is well controlled by the River Heralds. Though, as of late, their leader has sought it out for himself.
So now we've got to fight everyone against this? Oh my god.
How is that different from any time ever?
One can dream, right?
If
Cairo?
I have to fight everyone, who am I going to trade with?
Hopefully, after the threat to Oraska is secured, the merfolk and the Sun Empire will be very much obliged to trade with you.
Long-term investment that has no real promise of paying out. Fantastic.
You can't just simply do things for the joy of it.
What part of merchant do you people not... you? God damn it, you don't even have money. How am I supposed to communicate this idea to you people?
So the direct mission from the gods thing isn't affecting you at all?
These aren't my gods.
I did not see mine among them either.
No, but
Perhaps
there's a
the
local
province.
gods, so if we ever want to get out of this place, we probably don't really want to piss them off too much. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
It is only the threefold sun and a few others that are all from the outside, with the exception of one
The voice.
who can
It's
return.
testy.
The threefold sun needs to inspire its followers to create money.
Currency and other trifles that you refer to were once part of the continent of Torazon, which is now just a vampiric stronghold to the west of the western end of this island.
Yeah, that isn't money's fault, though.
The Brazen Coalition is money's fault.
I seem to remember someone talking about the Brazen Coalition. They're chaps that.
Quick recollection: they're a bunch of pirates.
I was gonna say they're a bunch of people that really like money, don't they? Really like gold.
Yes,
My
they
kind of people.
seek the threefold sun, much the same as you do.
Wait, so the threefold sun is gold?
The immortal sun.
Ah. But still, it's gold.
They also have my competition, so I need to prove that I'm better. Because they were the ones that have other brewers, right?
There are brewers among all tribes.
I was told that they had the other brewers.
You can beat competition by outselling them, or you can beat them by becoming their supplier.
I'm going to do both.
Now that more or less you've seen that a single vampire is capable of destroying a town,
This wasn't a single one, was it?
the others that were with Bona did next to nothing.
Man, they send the most pussy one after us first?
Well, no, I mean, destroying a town's not that big a deal. I'm pretty sure I could. The problem with that for me would be not dying before I finish the job. So not only is he powerful, but he must be pretty tough.
Again, I'm insulted that we got the chump that we got.
Yes.
Insulted.
Maybe they didn't know what we would be like, considering that one of their vampires can destroy a whole town. The people here can't do anything about it. They were probably not expecting as much resistance as we put up.
Reverend was considered to be powerful. Yet, through the blessings of those who sent me and your own ability, you were capable of defeating him. But
Stabbed the fuck out of it.
I believe you both, or all five of you, require more power to defeat Bona.
I'm all down for more power. You want to provide?
That would require you to go through a ritual that I cannot perform in this form.
Oh.
So
On
who
your
can...
avatar, though. Come on.
But Tishana, the great sage of the merfolk, would be able to.
Ooh, okay. I'm down for that. Is she fit?
She's a fish.
She's a merwoman.
Is she fit?
For a merfolk, very much so.
Got me. I'm in.
And we are talking the normal top half female, bottom half fish, or
They're
is it
rather
sloped
humanoid, but with more of a fishy appearance.
oh, so it's even better than our mermaids.
So, going by Xanathar's, not Xanathar's. What is it? The other
The
one.
night shifts.
No, I haven't looked at that in a while. They look like Tritons, right? Sort of.
Triton would actually be a very good allegory
Okay.
for an Ixalanian merfolk.
Like I said, we don't have to deal with fish head or fish legs. We're good.
Now, I believe you have several locations that you wish to go to, and maybe a few questions.
What part of I'm in did you not get? Anyway, go ahead and ask your questions. Probably Grim. You've got them right.
I got my main things. I got who I need to kill, where I can find flour, and where I can get more power. And that also sounded like there was a town, so I have a place I can sell booze.
On the aspect of booze, the Sun Empire people very much prefer a berry mixture.
Oh, I can get on that.
You're welcome.
Though they did seem rather fond of both my Rhyme Stout and the Ixalan Gold.
They've drank for the first time in 3 generations. They're going to be interested in anything. He then looks over towards Ravello and says that, so you can all hear, your father was a brave man, so as was your mother. I hope that you shall. He leads over, actually hearing your whisper with his like, pal.
He was a bit of a dick.
Prophecy has foreseen one local to play a great role in the quest for the immortal sun.
And we got stuck with this one.
May it be you. Ravello sort of nods and gets up from the grave, wiping tears from his eyes. And he sort of rubs the dinosaur's snout a bit. Thank you.
Oh, so you're the voice.
It took you this long to figure that out.
My apologies. Your lips weren't moving. What else? I'm sorry.
If I attempted to speak to you naturally, the dwarf here would probably try to kill me.
He does that.
Yeah, probably.
I could probably make a couple potions out of you.
Or you could be my lunch. But that is not your destiny. Anywho.
So, Mill, kill the vampire, and then head to that other town?
Druid, you've been silent as of late.
I see.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I have nothing to say here, nor has Alex. She's like, okay.
Hey, Alex, do you think that you'll be able to turn into him later?
I have no
To just give you his CR, 22. So,
Yeah.
the answer is no.
No. That's a no.
Damn
No,
it, you couldn't come in a form that we could take? Or she could take, rather? Would have been useful. Just saying.
There are 3 other avatars that roam this land. With some training, perhaps, my druid friend.
I can already get into a Ferocodon, so that's good.
Now, the eastern border requires my attention. I wish you good journey. And remain not a dinosaur's lunch.
I've been eating more of them than they've been able to get a bite out of me.
And he runs off.
So looking back at the boy, lead on. I need to see that mill, and then we need to go kill something, and then I have another place to sell booze at.
With a nod, he gives a small whistle, and his raptor Alex comes over.
I start heading back to my cart, and as I'm heading back to my cart, I look at Weimar and I go, "Don't ride my fucking carts." And I climb onto mine.
That's rude.
Glenn will motion for Weimar to get on the cart and walk up to Grim and say, We talked about this. Remember, mate. Right?
He attacked me.
Kill each other all you want as soon as we're out of this little hellhole.
He attacked me.
But
he stole from me.
I don't want to have to deal with this, because you know I'm going to have to.
Wait, when did I steal from you?
You took the sack out of my cart when I threw you out. That's stealing. He attacked me. He stole from me. And then, as a show of good faith, I allowed you to take the prisoner that we had, or rather the resource that I had.
You got your resource?
Not as much as I would have keeping him.
Oh, pshaw. It's not like there isn't more to come later on. The boy is emotional, let him be emotional. Doesn't mean that we're not working at cross purposes here. And you trying to make him walk is going to make him even worse for wear when it comes to the things that we're going to need to fight. I would rather have him in fighting order to help us.
I don't like when people attack or steal. If he had been anyone else, he would be dead.
Well, I suggest you get over it, because he's getting on the cart, whether you like it or not. Take it up with me if you don't like it. And I will haul myself up onto the cart.
Weimar looks a little confused
I can
and
cut
shaken.
your rations.
Huh?
I control the taps. I can cut your ration.
So long as I get some, it's perfectly fine. Wouldn't be the first time I've gone a little dry. And you're going to be punishing me. I'll keep that in mind.
Ravello, now up on his raptor, says, "Guys, seriously. Voda can destroy the entire town. You two fighting will likely just get us killed later."
Now that you've been arguing for about 10 minutes, you notice a floating disc fade into view just next to the wagon. Weimar, get on.
Tensor's floating. Does that move at the same speed you do?
It follows me. I'm sitting on the cart, so it'll come along.
Huh? Doesn't last that long, though, does it? I think it only lasts for like
an hour.
Yeah.
But I can make new ones constantly.
Can you? I thought that was
it's a ritual.
Oh, well, you have to spend, what is it, 10 minutes plus spell level?
That's precisely why he explicitly stated 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes of bickering.
Weimar gets on, sort of just like has his arms out as if he's trying to balance on. I imagine it. What does it look like, actually? Sorry.
It is a 3-foot wide horizontal plane of force, about 1 inch thick, 3 feet above the ground. It's got a little dip in the center so that you kind of slide back towards the middle as you sit in it.
It's like a chair, floating chair. It's like one of those beanbag chairs.
But is it like visible, or is it see-through? Is it?
It's probably very lightly visible.
Like a whip.
It's a magical force effect. It's mostly clear, but it's got a little bit of magic around the edge kind of visibility.
So Weimar gets on it, but he's sort of like unsure of himself, so he's got his arms out like he's trying to balance. He's sitting cross-legged too, so he just looks a little like holding perfectly still, like he doesn't want to rock the boat type thing.
You don't have to worry about falling off it unless you literally can't sit in a 3-foot chair without falling out.
And Weimar just lets out a sigh of relief and sort of tries to relax.
In fact, Chiron conjures a little pillow and puts it behind your back.
Chiron gets double rations and he starts his cart.
Wait, what?
Grim said, Chiron gets double rations and then he starts his cart.
With a
Brum,
nod.
brum, brum.
Don't worry, I'll share some with you, Glenn.
Hey, man, I'm just trying to keep everyone together here. Whatever.
The road is mostly open for the first few hours going along until it sort of begins to return to the jungle from where you more or less arrived. And as you're going towards the northeast, it's sort of becoming damper. Like, not actual rain, just the air is becoming damper as the trees become thicker along this road. Yes, damper. More damp.
That's exactly what I was typing.
I know, I was
Not like
making
the bread.
a topical pun. Sorry.
Yes, the entire forest has become moist as you've entered it.
There you go.
Do you not
we've
know what
gotten
a
some people-
dampier is?
No, I know what a dampier is.
Okay.
I have a
That was a
cell
joke
from
I was
that.
making.
An actual animation cell from Vampire Hunter D.
Ravello looks back after a few more
Okay.
minutes in this moist air and says, I suggest you stick to the path. There are greater dangers than Prosidons in these jungles.
Okay, then.
Dangers such as?
Merfolk assassins.
I doubt the path will save us from assassins.
By treaty between the Sun Empire and the River Heralds, the trails are seen as neutral ground.
Right, so if we step off the path, they see it as an invasion and try to kill us. Got it.
That's not very nice.
For a big red thing, you are smart, Chiron.
I'm the wizard.
Ravello doesn't know that.
Big.
Also, this is Ravello that you're talking to.
big red.
I know.
thing.
I said that in character.
I see.
That's a little racist, don't you think? Oh, how dare he?
Even Weimar's just shaking his head in shame. He's like,
The boy isn't that smart. We all know this.
I'm trying not to say it's not my fault. I'm the biggest and the strongest. I don't even exercise.
I'm not the biggest, but I am the strongest. And does killing things count as exercise?
And say, believe it or not, even with the wizard there, I am the least strong.
Yeah.
I'm definitely the strongest once I down a potion.
I am
Which-
the most wise, though.
By the way, after I hear that something might try to kill us at some point, I do have a potion just out in my hand, ready.
Excellent. Excellent. Grim, would you happen to have some of those for me?
Is that Ravello asking?
Yes.
I'll give you one of the standards that I was using. Here's a Grim Tooth.
He walks Alexander back beside the cart, grabs it, so puts it in his bag, and then continues off. It takes a couple more hours, and a sort of storm is starting to ride in at about evening. And unlike the storm that accompanied Mavrin back at the temple, this one feels completely natural. Just feeling I have to say that.
So to kind of cover everything, I jerry rig a covering for my cart.
Are we going to keep going during the storm, or are we going to stop?
Is that in character, or
That was in character.
Ravello looks back at you semi-shocked and says, "Night, in the jungle, during a storm."
So it is nighttime now.
Well,
It's dusk.
I would think that the storm would definitely mask our scent from the big chumpy monsters, don't you think?
Not our sound or ourselves.
So I rig up a covering for my cart.
And I will cast Liamon's tiny hut.
Ooh. Resourceful.
Yeah, but he's playing some sort of support build.
And I'll rig up a covering for my other cart as well before walking into the tiny hut. After hobbling my 2 pack animals.
It's not actually a tiny hut. It's just a dome of force that keeps rain out and is completely impenetrable for 8 hours.
I know, I was just using that as a...
Are we saying impenetrable, or...
Absolutely impenetrable. So if you leave the hut, you can't get back into it.
That's not true.
Really? I thought that was...
Creatures and objects within the dome, when you cast the spell, can move through it freely.
Okay.
All creatures and objects otherwise are barred from passing through it.
Yeah. It's
Sounds good.
It's almost like a pocket dimension without actually being a pocket dimension. So it's not like Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion.
Mm-hmm. Ravello sort of settles down Alexander for the night, and the raptor curls up, being tired from a day of basically go.
Oh, here's the thing though. There's 5 of us. How many grand total? No, sorry. Yeah, 5. No, 6 of us with Ruvello. How many pack animals do we have?
3.
3.
So the mule, Alexander, and a large quadruped for the larger Carta of Grams.
Well, you're gonna have to leave that large creature out of it.
Yeah.
It is
It
my...
has
9 medium creatures or smaller.
Yeah.
Gallimimus is what I have. Gallimimus.
Gallimimus.
Yeah. Gallimimus, yep.
And technically Alexander is large, but it's more of a medium large. Yeah.
There are also 2 tiny pets.
Cookie and Chip. Tiny little raptors. Or tiny little dinos.
Yeah, so you're going to have to leave some things outside of the hut.
Like I said,
medium creatures and the 3 tiny pets can all fit inside. The large creatures have to stay outside.
Yeah.
I cover and hobble, and I'm good.
Yeah, spells or other magical effects can't pass the barrier or the dome on either end. The dome's atmosphere is always comfortable, dry, no matter what the weather outside. So.
All right. After making sure Alexander is safe, it's a resourceful little lizard. Ravello goes over to the center, looking around, and says, "It's the beginning of monsoon season, yet it's dry in here. Was that your doing with all those fancy hand movements, Chiron?"
Yes.
And the crystal bead.
Yes.
We're not going to talk about the crystal bead.
Don't forget the words.
Like hell, you understand arcane mutterings.
This boy is really not bright.
Those 6 people, 2 dinosaurs, and an owl huddled together under a translucent glowing dome.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the watch order? And
you don't even need watch order.
yeah, we do. I have an animal outside.
Yeah, well, then you're concerned about it.
Ravello looks over and points to Alexander, who technically couldn't enter because technically he's a large creature.
There you go. Alexander will protect it.
I trust Alexander just slightly more than I trust the boy.
Hurtful.
Accurate. You almost lost a fight against
yeah,
women
my name,
and
of course, is trustworthy.
Oh, I've been muted this whole time. I keep saying Weimar volunteered, so.
Oh.
Who's the only one who knows this land with any accuracy? I am. Who's the one that's likely going to prevent the members from the next town over from trying to kill you guys like my father did when you enter? I will be.
Who's the one that almost lost a fight against women and children, Saurians, and had to run and find us?
There were 12 of them.
Oh, I know this one.
Alakazam will take part of the watch too. He can wake me up if he sees anything happening.
But yeah,
I'll take first watch, and then we'll cycle.
I'll take second.
Alexander's nose and ears will be able to tell if there is any major threats nearby.
But the animal needs rest itself, so.
Its ears and nose never rest. It's why we are capable of going out just with our raptors and not being eaten.
Given that we went to one of your hunter camps earlier, and they were all eaten, I'm not sure how much I can trust that.
Well, I'll take the last watch.
Ravello nods and says, "I'll take one of the middle ones." I need to make sure Alexander is not soaking wet.
Everyone rest
You need
up.
us to roll.
There's no real roll.
Before Chiron goes to sleep, he takes the time to conjure 3 healing potions.
Glenn will also walk over to Alexander and boop it on the snout and give it Blessing of the Trickster, which gives it advantage on stealth checks.
Yeah, that sounds good.
In case it wants to stalk and kill something.
Oh, it'll likely go out hunting tonight. And with that, benefits of a long rest, if any of you guys need it for anything.
I don't think I do. Although I was thinking about switching around some spells.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see. If I do, I'll let you know.
Yeah. For Divine Casters, your spell books are open at this point. I believe that's just Icy and Inquisitor. The morning comes, and Chiron, you being the last watch, you notice that it hasn't really lightened up, nor has the rain stopped. In fact, it's become worse. Like, it is a absolute downpour now.
And this is well past the time that sunrise would normally have been?
By any counts, it's already 10, 11 o'clock. And it's only marginally brighter. So everything is technically dim light. And it is all obscured by heavy, heavy rain.
Well, I think all of us have dark vision at the very least.
Except for you.
No, half elves have dark vision.
Oh yeah, you're half. I forgot.
Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm not half elf.
Yeah,
No,
you're
I'm
human,
the
aren't-
half elf.
I'm human. Sorry, I was
No.
thinking. I keep on thinking of my ranger character that I play on my Pathfinder game. Yeah, no, I don't have dark vision. I'm human.
You're the only one without dark vision. Everybody can see in the dark except you.
Mm-hmm.
You can always ask. I have light.
So do I.
Chiron, could you give me a quick perception check?
Sure. Let's see. Chiron will roll 1, and that's a 7. Alakazam probably should also roll 1 since
Mm-hmm.
he's on watch as well.
Does Alakazam have dark vision, and was he watching the entire night?
He's
Because
an
He has
owl.
better dark vision than everyone else in the party, and he's been watching while I've been awake.
Except for dwarves. Dwarves have the best dark vision because they can see in absolute darkness. Everyone else can only see in dim light.
Well,
it's
dwarves
another
and
form of
drow.
advanced. Very well.
Alakazam has dark vision out to 120 feet and also keen hearing and sight. Anyway,
Then
he
the
gets
roll is
played.
completely out of the question. He would have even easily seen what I'm referring to. You read from Alakazam that just before sunrise, Ravello and Alexander had left.
Oh, that's not good. I'm going to send Alakazam to, well, actually tracking them in this downpour is not particularly going to be worthwhile.
And I'd assume that after 8 hours, your little hut disappears, so you're pretty much getting soaked at this point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could always have cast another one, but
and since it is a ritual, it wouldn't take up a spell slot.
yeah. The other guys at this point, I'm going to wake up Grim.
Yep.
Ravello and Alexander are gone.
Useless shit. Any clue where they went?
Well, Alakazam said they went off that way, but that way could be anything because he can't see for more than 100 feet in the jungle. They left slightly before sunrise.
Glenn will look at the group, say, "All right, hold on a second. Let me give me a moment here. I'm gonna prepare a spell, but I want to read it first to make sure that I'm getting it right."
I smell augury or something similar.
I do not have augury. That's a really high level spell.
I didn't.
But I do have something that is an ace up my sleeve. So, I just want to read the spell. Where the fuck is it? Here we go. As long as the object is within 1,000 feet of me, if the object is in motion, you know the direction of its movement. Okay, I'm going to cast Locate Object on the potion that Grim gave Ravello.
The spell says, distance and motion.
If it's within 1,000 feet of me.
773 feet, moving northeast.
I will point Grim at it and say, "Get to it. I can tell you where he's going."
Everyone load up. Let's go.
Is it a continuous tracking or just a ping?
Let's see here. Concentration up to an hour.
So that's a continuous set of pings at the very least.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the time you guys are ready to...
I was looking at the wrong one. 10 minutes.
Same idea, though.
Yes. And no, it's not a ping. I constantly know where it is.
As you guys are preparing, you feel that the potion is now beginning to close back in on you.
Oh, okay. I'll still tell everyone to intercept.
Mm-hmm. And based on the speed, it's going to be a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Once everything's loaded, my animals are rehitched, I'm moving in the direction that Glenn told.
Mm-hmm. It only takes a little bit of time, being as you were moving towards one another, but Ravello jumps out of the jungle on Alexander, and there's a couple of mammalian corpses on the saddle behind Ravello, and he's smiling, "Hey guys, why are you all packed up? I was just grabbing breakfast."
Not telling anyone.
Typically, we don't need to tell each other.
You're the only one that knows where we're going.
And
what would have happened if you had died out in the woods?
I wouldn't have died.
Tell that to your hunters.
Must you constantly remind me of that?
When you're being stupid, yes.
You didn't gain
Weimar
favor.
just...
I was gonna say, Grim would say, you didn't gain favor from your gods, did you?
Not exactly.
Then I think that it might be in your best interest to stay with the group, regardless of how confident in your skills that you may think you have.
At the very least, let us know where the fuck you're going.
And what did you kill for breakfast?
We call them Strothiumites. He sort of motions it over, and it looks like a large badger.
Is it carnivorous?
Omnivorous, actually.
Oh, okay, then that's fine. I don't eat things that eat other things. It's bad for the health. It makes you go crazy.
Everything eats other things.
What? I mean other things that walk in, maybe even talk. Shush.
Glenn, you realize I can talk to plants, right?
Plants are perfectly fine.
Hey, are you talking shit
They
about...
talk.
And I pull back one of the coverings, showing the salted meat that I have. You have a problem with this?
No.
I'm saying, looking at Glenn.
Weimar stares at it, his mouth watering.
Because I keep on killing things and salting them and throwing them in the cart.
He's pushing coin at you, Grim. He just wants meat.
I take coin and I shave a bit off.
I'll take the fresh meat.
How much coin
See,
did
now
you
you're
give
tempted.
me?
Probably grabbed about 4 gold. I don't know how much it costs. He's just hungry.
I would give you 4 gold worth of the salted cured meat now.
How much would that be? Would he put it in his pack?
About
Or is it
500
just-
pounds.
That would be really cheap meat.
Yeah, this is good exotic purely cured stuff. I'm guessing not more than a pound.
A meal at a tavern normally costs about a silver piece.
All I've got is gold pieces.
Yeah, but this is more like a meal at a really nice area, not at the local tavern. This would be like buying meat for a nobleman's campaign.
Yeah, this isn't tavern slop.
Grilled delicacy, got it.
Yep. And it's grilled delicacy number 4.
To actually eat dinos.
What was that?
Ravello was just saying we so rarely get the chance to actually eat dinos. It's usually the other way around.
And again, this is why you shouldn't just go wandering off.
Well, that is the way of Tolinali.
Did you happen to see anything while you were out there? Anything odd? Anything strange?
The only thing that I know right now is the River Heralds have found us, and we are under watch.
Oh, good. Okay. As soon as this mermaid shows up, just let me know.
Do they speak common? Does anyone here speak Mermish? Is that a language?
If you can understand me, in all likelihood, you'll be able to understand them.
Grim looks at the woods. If you come out, I'll give you a drink. The finest drink that you'll ever have. I can give you some rime stout. I can give you some Ixalan gold. I have many different drinks to offer. Some Vice Lady. Finely distilled, best alcohol that you'll be able to find in any area, especially on this world.
Ravello chuckles a bit and says, they're highly trained scouts. They're not going to just reveal their position.
He says as they walk out of the forest.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just as he says that, it's like, what is this delicious smelling meat?
I also have plenty of whiskey to offer. And by the way, I want to roll persuasion.
Okay, then.
Let's see, what is my... Persuasion. Okay, there we go. And I need my D20. There we go. That is a 23. As I'm just listing off my alcohols and describing them in exquisite detail. The refreshing feel, the whiskey belly bloom that'll drive the cold of the water and rain out of you.
You'd notice a few of the treetops sort of stir a bit, but no one actually jumps out from anywhere nearby.
Discipline.
I continue on talking about the various meats that I have available and pouring out several cups of various alcohols and setting them in front of the barrels.
Chiron conjures a small canteen, fills it up with whiskey, and tosses it towards the trees that he just saw move.
They sort of stir again, and
does the canteen disappear?
There is a bit of a blur that comes out of the trees, but it was quick, well hidden and obscured by the rain, that you couldn't even make out whether or not it was a bird, a humanoid, a dido, something. It takes.
If they consumed it, wouldn't they have to roll a con save?
No, there were actually two out of game in that tree. One jumped away. The other I was getting to. After a couple minutes, something falls out of the tree.
Go help my new customer.
Ravello sighs and says, we see you. You might as well come on out. They mean you no harm. And besides, you outnumber us 3-1 based on my count.
Plus, one of my booze offerings has been given the consent of your deities. So, please come and try the wild Ixalan sun.
A blue-skinned creature, sort of covered in sort of a fin-like structure that approximates hair, webbed hands, sort of waddles out. He's covered in armor that is literally made of jade. And he's just, what is this poison? It tastes
Don't
Not
worry.
really poison, but the finest draft that you can get.
Don't worry, you'll get used to it eventually. Burns good.
You drink this stuff all the time?
Pouring out a fair number of fingers of the whiskey for myself. Take it down nice and smooth, and just sigh contentedly. Yes, I do.
So how many popped out of the trees?
The only one came out of the clearing. Another one jumps out beside him. This one's jade is sort of trimmed in a sort of a brighter yellow, with which you assume is a gold leafing, and sort of sets his compatriot down. Honestly, what did you poison him with, and where is the antidote?
No poison, he just imbibed too much too quick. He'll be better in a little bit.
If I have any of that soda left over, I share with him, sort of help him digest what he just drank.
What you assume to be the scout captain scoffs at this and says, "We don't eat Tranian meat."
Glyn will hop down out of the carriage, put his hands up. Let's go. I can make him feel better if that's what he wants. If he's not feeling good the way he is currently. Are you, lad?
The captain looks over at you. Do anything else, and you will be dead before you even breathe.
Well, I'm breathing right now, but hold on a second. Walk over and lesser restoration on him. Which, since it's an alcohol is technically a poison, it would immediately cure it.
Yeah. It takes a few seconds, but the scout sort of gets back on his feet, nods, and poof.
There you go. See, we're all friends here.
And
Tell me a little bit more careful next time.
While he's doing that, I'll pour out a small measure of wild Ixalan sun, and I'll go, drink to health.
The captain grabs the glass and, takes a small sip before, sort of cringing up like a person who has first drank alcohol.
This is a wild ale. This is not distilled alcohol. This has a pleasantly sour, fruity mix.
I still expect it to have that ethanol undertaste.
This is... Wild ales tend to have a sour, fruity taste to them.
Mm-hmm. Then it's more just from the bitterness, then.
And this one is also fairly spiced as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sanguine, I can tell you, as someone who doesn't drink, the second I touch any alcohol, I feel it.
Yeah.
And I taste it.
Any person who hasn't drank alcohol before can taste that ethanol undertaste in anything.
Yeah, certain palates are more sensitive to it than others. Usually,
untested palates especially. He says, fruity, a little bitter, but what was that other? It tastes like rot.
It is a little bit, but it's...
Fermented is the word that you're looking for.
And
you
must want
the poison you gave my compatriot.
Oh no, he got not Grim Tooth, rather. He got Grim Whiskey. The Grim Tooth would make him feel a hell of a lot stronger.
an Ixalan son.
That is Wild Ixalian Sun, which is given the go-ahead by your own deities.
So you have apothecaric skills.
I am an alchemist.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
So he drinks the rest of it, again, cringing a bit at the ethanol undertaste, and says, "Thank you. I forgive my untested palate towards your gift."
And if you want something that's a bit stronger and will also leave you feeling fortified, I pull out a small dose of Grimtooth whiskey, and I offer it.
He politely declines, sort of seeing what happened to his compatriot after drinking more than a small amount.
Oh, don't worry. This shouldn't leave you feeling ill. He drank probably the entire canteen. This is much less. And how often do you find yourself wanting to feel stronger? Wanting to be stronger?
That is not important at this time.
Oh, no, that is the crux of the matter. You see, imbibing this will make you stronger.
Alex will lean over to Grim, like, do you think it's smart to give someone who we don't know a potion that makes them stronger?
Saying very softly,
Yes.
considering I have Grim Wrath in my other hand for myself.
Okay.
We had wished to surveil you without being detected, but due to your Sun Empire brat and the inexperience of the first time scout, that is no longer possible. You are entering River Herald territory. I trust that the brat has told you the basics.
Apparently there's some sort of treaty that will prevent you from trying to kill us if we stay on the road, but I figure that we can negotiate more acceptable terms where you just won't try to kill us. We'll be allowed to pass freely, and in exchange, I can provide you with a myriad of different beverages.
Treaty changes and whatnot are only allowed by 2 members of our group, Tishana and Kumena.
Well, we will have to meet them. Currently, we have to hit up a mill, and then I have some vampires to kill.
You are enemies of the Dusk Legion.
Isn't
Yes.
everybody?
Not everyone.
Apparently, they have a couple contracts out for us.
Then I should celebrate you as allies. Any enemy of the Dusk Legion is a friend to me.
I again hold up the Grimtooth whiskey. Drink to that.
He nods and sort of holds out his the glass you gave him.
I pour the dose of Grimtooth into it.
He sort of gestures it in not exactly a toast by your definition, but close enough to it that you get the meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of downs it. Refreshing. And
You
yes,
should also
being an
feel...
ally against the Dusk Legion is a blessed event.
And with downing that, you should also feel a fair bit stronger than you did.
He gives a whistle, and basically the entire clearing stirs for a second before going quiet. Like, you just figured out you were completely and utterly surrounded.
I just smile.
I trust you do not mind if a few of us remain to just surveil you.
Nah, but why hide away when you can ride along and enjoy the company and conversation?
We prefer to stick to our stealthy ways when outside of the water.
I suppose, but you get fewer drinks that way. And by the way, that whiskey that you just had is a specialty of mine. It's something that I'd be willing to deal with your people in providing.
I can tell a merchant when I see one. That would be between our leaders and you on whether or not the price is acceptable.
Do tell them of the benefits of it, will you?
Well, one of our messengers is already on their way to Shauna to tell her.
Well then, good. Do you know how far away the mill is from here?
He looks over at Ravello. 11 hours.
Well, we should get on our way. Places to go, people to kill, deals to make.
Good health to you, ally.
Good health to you as well.
And he jumps back into the trees. Ravello is just shocked at this point.
Well, I think that went rather well, don't you?
Well, you did better than the Sun Empire diplomats did in 50 years.
It helps to make friends when you offer nothing in offer for no compensation.
Also, your diplomats didn't come with my alcohol.
No. Our first diplomats in ancient times came with spears.
Funny,
Yeah,
so did I.
Sounds like getting off the wrong foot right there.
Yes, that sounds a little bit more like they're using declarations of war rather than of peace.
And Grim, just kind of patting his spear, goes, I don't see an issue with coming with spears.
If you don't point it at the enemy right away.
That's a little gross. I don't know how you manage that.
At least
Wrong
instead
type of
30,
coming.
There's
Okay.
only going to be 2 following us around.
Fair enough. And I look at the surrounding and I go, if either of you would like a drink at any point, do let me know.
One of the trees sort of stirs slightly.
I'll take that as a you will.
Well, I'd prefer getting to fortifications as the monsoons have started.
Get us to the mill.
You expect to make flour during monsoon season.
I expect to find bags of flour, keep them dry, and then go kill people, yes.
He shrugs, mounts Alexander, and continues off. And, Pun, seriously, how are we doing on your time?
I'm going to need to go soon.
Yeah, I was asking because if you had a half hour so we could continue, but if you say soon, I think that's a good spot
Yeah,
to
like-
wrap it.
Okay.
Well-
We've been your D&D with Shitlords, coming back again. Hoping we're gonna come back strong and keep doing this weekly. We'll see. Apologize for last week. Keep an eye out on my Twitter. I might. I'm gonna try to get on top of tweeting out if we're scheduled to play on Saturday or not. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed.
Good night, fellas.
Have a good night, all.
Night.